So the other day I came across a video by Abdaal, and it was about how to build a personal brand or how to build a website for a personal brand. And when he showed the example of his own website in that video, I was wondering if it's possible to build that same website inside of Highlevel. So I went ahead and did just that. This video, I'm going to show you how I did it inside of Highlevel, and at the end of the video, I'll even give you the template for free in case you want to use it. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say that I don't recommend copying somebody else's work. This video is more of an experiment to see if I can build it inside of Highlevel without relying on different plugins. So the goal is to share more of the layout or the style of Abdaal that you can then take and then build your own personal brand with. I'm not sure how the whole copyright thing works with websites. So what I did was I built the layout of Abdaal's website, and then I put my information inside of it, trying to mimic the exact designs, doodles, color scheme as his, but it's my information. So hopefully I don't get in trouble for this video. Okay, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so this is Abdaal's website. You'll see it's quite vibrant, quite a unique personal brand design. He has some animations where if you hover over certain blocks, the colors change, and he has this nice rounded corner design. So if I scroll down, you'll see he also has his about section, as well as some buttons, and then his watch my latest popular videos, and then another place where you can subscribe to his newsletter. And then below that, he has his footer section. So I try to build that as close to his as possible, without breaching any copyright strikes. So like I mentioned, I did add my information inside of it, but the designs and doodles I made inside of Canva, then I added it into my website. So if I come over to mine, you'll see it's decently similar. I also have this rounded edge design, and I'll show you in a minute how I did all of this. If I scroll below, I have a newsletter sign up inbox, a how can I help you section. For me, it's just my offering and services over here. But you'll see that I even got it right where if you hover over it, the colors will change. Then if I keep scrolling down, I have an about section with more doodles also around my pictures, with a button added below that, as well as 3 buttons just like his over here. So you'll see it's pretty similar already, but if I keep scrolling on, you'll see watch my latest episodes, and then below that another subscribe to my newsletter, as well as the footer. Okay, so that's the whole design. I'm going to show you now how I built it inside of Highlevel. Okay, so if I come inside of my Highlevel website editor, you'll see that this website was actually built inside of Highlevel. I first started with a header section. To get this rounded design on the edges, I just clicked on the purple box, came to advanced. Then I added a border, made sure it was only top border, and then I selected the border radius to be 25 pixels. And then the border color, it was set to black by default, but then I just changed it to the color I wanted. And to get this design where the hero section blends in with this top section, I just clicked on this blue button and then made sure there was no padding between those two sections. Then I did the same with all these connecting pieces over here. How I got this image was I just went to Canva and then masked myself and then added the picture here. This is just a 2-column section. Then I added 2 titles over here. Then this blue line underneath was also just an image that I added in between the text and the paragraph. So I just added it in the image options over here, then just resized it so that it looks like it's striping underneath the word. Then how I got this line swoosh at the background over here, all I did was design a simple line design in Canva, and then I just clicked on the section, then added it to the background media. Then made sure the image option was full center and not the parallax option. Then to add this newsletter sign up section, what I did was I just created a 2-column section, and then I added padding to each side. If I click on this purple block, then you'll see that I've added 60 padding. I did the same for this side. And then I just added the information on the left-hand side, added the text on the top, and then this section over here, which if you look inside my preview, looks different to the preview inside the website builder. This is just a form that I created. So I just created the form and then added it to this section. So this is the form design inside of Highlevel's form builder. I just added a column where it was a place where you can add your email as well as a button to subscribe. Then what I did was to get it side by side was just click on this styles and option button in the corner and then come down to single line. And then I deleted all the other information like the phone number, the name, because if you look at his, he also just has an email as well as a subscribe button. So I wanted it to look as close to that as possible. So this is the best I could do. Then if you look on the left-hand side here, you'll see this icon button. But if you've used Highlevel, then you'll know that that's not an easy thing to do. So what I did was a little bit of jerry-rigging. So I added an image above the subscribe to text. And then what I did was click on it, and then you'll see on the right hand here, the margin and padding is a bit crazy, but this is how I moved it all the way to the right hand side and then down a bit to give me this effect. And you'll see in the mobile view, it also turns out really nicely. So it's a little bit awkward in the editor, but it works. Then if I come down to this featured section over here, if you look at Ali's, his is just below the newsletter box. So what I did was I just went to the editor, added a new section below over here, clicking the blue button and then adding a blue section with 5 purple columns. And then I just added the text in the first one, images in the others, and then I sized it to the correct size. And then what I did with this box to connect it to this blue box was also just click on it and then add a negative pixel margin so that it moved the whole thing upwards. Then moving on to this section over here, the how can I help you with the blue circle around the U. It's the same principle as what I did with this light bulb icon. I just wrote out my text, then I just added an image below this I help you section. Then once I clicked on it, also jerry-rigged it and changed the margin to negatives so that it aligned perfectly around the U, as well as changing the size of the actual image itself. Then to get this next section, which is showing these boxes, and then the next box being halfway through the first box, and then so on, as well as showing colors as soon as you highlight over it, what I did was I just added a column of 3 per section. So you'll see these purple columns over here. Here's the first one, second one, and then in between here is the third one. But if I highlight my mouse over this, you'll see that it also looks a bit squished over here. But on the main website, it looks completely natural. So to get that effect, what I did was I clicked on this section, in this case, the blue block. And then to get this text below, so it matches the left-hand side of this block, what I did was just add a negative pixel margin. So again, it brought that whole section down a bit. And then I just used that same principle with this section over here to bring that up a bit. And then this section over here to bring that up a bit as well. Then to get this effect where if you hover over it, the color shows. So I got some code that I saw in a video from GoHighLevel on YouTube. I recommend go checking them out for cool custom designs. But to get this effect, I added this code over here. So I'll let you screenshot it over there in case you want to use it. But again, the template will be in the description below. But to get that effect, what I did was I came to the purple block, clicked on it, went to advanced, then I added a custom class. In this case, it was block-1. And then in the custom CSS, you'll see block-1 with the information to get that effect. And then to get that round corner design, what I did was, again, just click on the purple block, go to advanced, added a full border, changed the color to transparent, and then added the border radius to be 25 pixels. And then what I did was add a button below that, which is just a normal button icon. But then what I did was I changed the background color to also be transparent. So it gives that same effect shown over here in Ali's. And then to get the line that comes underneath it, all I did was click on the button, come down to the subtext, then I literally just added a whole bunch of hyphens. I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but this is just the one that I found that works. Then next is the About section where I added my name as well as the blue line underneath. So again, in the editor, all I did was add a image underneath the text, and then I sized it down so that it fits perfectly underneath my words. And then the right-hand side, yeah, this is just a couple columns. So you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all this is just an image. If I drag it out here, you can see over here. And then in the background of Ali's, you'll also see a line over here. Then I just added the line to the background of this section in the blue block this time. And then again, just went to background media and then uploaded it. Then I added these 3 blue buttons, which are just normal buttons. And then below that, I added a watch my latest episode section. This one is slightly different to Ali's. If you look at his, he's got this cool button where if you click over it, it goes through them all. I'm sure you can do this with more CSS. I just didn't know how, so I didn't. So I kept it a bit simpler here with just showing 3. But if you look on the side, then you'll see that it still looks pretty cool. And when I hover over it, it also shows this color. So this is also just another section with a couple of columns. So just to show you, if I click on this blue button over here, I just added I believe it was a 5-column section. And then I just added an image at the top, text below, and a button below that. Then I curved the edges of each block, and then change the background color of this block by clicking on the purple icon and then changing the background color over here. And then all I did was add some CSS. I just changed the custom class to blk-2, which is the same element as this one over here. And then it automatically applies to that block as well. Then finally, I added another subscribe to the newsletter section. Again, in the preview, it looks a bit different, but if I show you that real one, it looks like this. But all I did was I added another background image. This one again was just from Canva. And then it was the same design as the one at the top of the website. So this is definitely a more simpler version of Ali's, but I just wanted to see the flexibility of what I can do inside of Highlevel. So I think it turned out pretty decent with mine. And I also wanted to do it where I'm not using a ton of CSS. So the only times I did use it was in the sections where these colors change when you hover over it. But besides that, all of it was done inside of Highlevel by just changing the padding of the different elements. So Ali has quite a few different pages up here. I didn't bother building all of those, but I thought that you can just duplicate my first page and then change it to whatever section that you want for yours. Alright, so that's how I built Ali Abdaal inspired website inside of Highlevel. I'll leave the link to the free template down below in the comments. If you do not have Highlevel but you still want to use this for your personal brand, then make sure you get Highlevel. I'll put a support link above the template link, so if you don't have it, click on that. That link will give you a free trial. And once you have signed up, make sure you click the link below that to then import it straight inside your account. If you have any questions, please let me know down below, and thank you very much for watching.